What is up? Welcome to episode 19 of the 120 gallon plywood aquarium build. We're getting to the end, and we're on this epoxy shelf, and I got a lot of these rocks epoxied. I still have a good amount of rocks to epoxy. I want to have everything prepped up, ready to go, so I don't have to work backwards. I do take my time on everything, so it is what it is. Now, I do have to sand this side. I don't want this burgundy really showing as much as it is. The other side is finished, so we're gonna sand this all down, and then we'll end up putting the last coat. It's going to be the charcoal black, and this should be good. Both sides should be good, so we just got to pop a little bit of epoxy on that side, and we should be good to go. Once it all dries up, then we're going to figure out a very cool pattern and design. What I would really like to do is make it a reverse epoxy table to where you can flip it if you want, but I am focusing on just a one-sided table. I would like to do a reverse side with some lights in it, but when it comes to that, it comes to every little bit of technique, and it is really hard to do. I know it's possible. I was super close with the kitchen table, but yeah, we're gonna see what we can do as we move on with this project here. But lava rock gonna remain that same color. I did try to play with it a little bit, but it just looks stupid trying to put any purple or anything into it. It's pretty dumb. So we're not going with that. That is where that is going. So episode 19, let's get this started, and yeah, let's finish prepping. You can see I have the red and the blue here, and what I'm doing is I'm flipping the blue, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the red on the bottom of the blue, and I'm gonna put the blue on the bottom of the red. This way I can try to make a reverse side. It might not come out like I want it to. It might not come out like I want it to, but this is the way I'm gonna do it. Alright, so the pieces of wood look pretty good. They're finished on this side. I do have to turn them and epoxy them. Then we can come over here, and these were the experimental rocks where I worked with different colors. And what I did is I put like a violet chameleon in, and then I also used this brown, red, violet, blue chameleon mica powder, and it came out like that. It's like a turquoise. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not going to use all of these rocks anyway, because we have all of these that are finished and they're all prepped. These are the burgundy, and you got the blue on the other side. So we're going to be working with the burgundy. That's going to be the main focus for this epoxy shelf. Obviously I want it reversed, so I'm going to be working blind, literally, assuming what the other side is looking like as I work on this. So it's going to be difficult, it's going to be challenging, and I'm going to have to get super creative, but let's finish everything up. I did want to really show how much prepping does get done when you're trying to create these projects. So let's keep it going. Alright, so I got everything prepped up, and now I'm really just trying to clean this up really good. And the main thing is trying to make sure I got no extra silicone, because there's silicone that goes around the corners, and I just don't want the flakes and the pieces to get in the epoxy. I mean, it'll be okay if it's on the outside, and when I finish up I can sand it all off. But if it's on the inside of this piece, there's nothing I can do. Alright. Now it's time to figure out a good setup here. And I do remember a little of what I did before, but not really. Alright, I started staining this piece of wood because that was driving me crazy. So this piece of wood here, I need to put a couple more coats of stain on it. It's going to be going right underneath. That gap is just a little too wide so you can see it. Now, I did figure out a pretty good design. I mean, these pieces of wood have been in so many different directions. I really feel like this is it. So I'm gonna let it marinate, probably get me a cup of coffee, chill out for a minute, and then come back, look at it, make sure it's good, and then we'll get the first coat of epoxy in. Now I separated a couple rocks that I like on both sides. So these are the ones on this side right here that look pretty good. I'm definitely going to use them. And these, I don't know, I'm a little shaky. Some of them don't look as good, but we're going to have to get into that later on, as well as getting into these rocks over here later on. The main goal right now is going to be setting this. So there's a lot that's going to go into trying to make a reverse epoxy shelf here. So let me get a cup of coffee and I'm going to come back to it and get started. What I'm going to try to do is, after each pour, I'm just going to let the container sit, and I'm going to try to save it, because these containers cost like $2.50 a pop. Just these little measuring plastic containers cost a lot of money, so I got to find a cheaper way of doing this. Yeah, so 2 liters was a little too much. So what I'm doing is I'm just epoxying the top. Being that we have a clear, just wanted to see how it would look. And plus it uses a little bit of epoxy so I can put it on the top. I don't think we're gonna get any crazy bubbles. I hope we get no bubbles. But there's always a chance when you pour a little too much. I'm trying to be very careful. Also, I don't want these pieces of wood to lift. So I've been pressing them down as much as I possibly can. And especially in the beginning, I'm really pressing them. This way they stick, the epoxy cures, and then they don't go anywhere. Alright, so everything looks pretty good. We have epoxy all the way in each corner. I was gonna get the level, but it really doesn't matter as long as the epoxy is taking up the entire rectangle here. We are good. Now we just need it to cure and nothing stupid to happen. Once it cures, then the wood will stay in place, and then we can figure out what we're going to do next. But so far so good. I'm going to come back in about a half hour, check it out. The main thing is just having this all curing, putting something over it, and not allowing any flies or bugs to get in it, because flies love epoxy. I can't tell you how many insects have gotten caught in my epoxy projects. It is ridiculous. It's something about the aroma that attracts them, and they will ruin your project. I've had big giant moths and big ass flies in my fish tanks in the epoxy, where I had to literally sand the bug out of the epoxy and redo it. So yeah, there's so much, from bugs to dust to anything, that can get into a project and pretty much ruin it. And one more thing that I'm worrying about too is I'm making sure that the wood is pushed down and not coming up. I don't want it to try to float, because then it will mess up the bottom and we'll have a tough time trying to create a reverse epoxy table on top of just a normal one anyway, because if you look, you have only so much room. So if it pops up anymore, it's going to pop up over the ledge, and we do not need that. So clearly that's something to keep an eye on. So I'm going to come back in a little bit, we'll check it out and keep it moving. Alright, so this has been sitting for a little over an hour, and mainly I'm just trying to look like next to the pieces of wood to see if I see any bubbles or anything. The only thing that really got me was this, and I believe if you look down the line, see, that's all silicone, so I believe that's just on the bottom. So if I start messing with it, there's a good chance that I can just do more damage to this. So I'm gonna have to figure out, once this is all finished and it's taken off, I'll have to flip it and figure out what we got going on. But other than that, I think everything's looking decent. I don't see anything significant. So we are just gonna let this chill, and we'll be back tomorrow morning to see how it looks. Alright, so this is the next day, and everything did come out pretty good. There's one section towards the corner that I don't like, but we can try to hide that. That's going to be for the reverse side. It doesn't affect this top side, but when we end up flipping it over, that is going to be an issue. Hopefully I can fix that. Besides that, everything looks pretty good. It's all in there. It's nice. Everything's real nice. Now, it goes to trying to figure out the rock situation. And it's pretty straightforward when it comes down to it. I'm gonna have to clean the rocks first. Each individual rock is gonna have to get cleaned, and then we're gonna have to figure out a design with them. Now I have this burgundy, I have the blue on the other side. The reverse side is going to be blue, so the blue side will be down, the burgundy will be up. But we also have some purple, and we have a chameleon color. It looks like a turquoise, but when you look at it, it's got different colors in it, which is pretty cool. And it's going to be about figuring out a cool design of colors and what I want to put together and how I want it to look. And it's going to be a lot of moving rocks around, trying to figure out different things. So that's going to wrap it up for episode 19. So in episode 20, we're going to get all these rocks set in. We're going to epoxy everything, and we're going to finish this epoxy shell. I appreciate y'all for watching. This has been a ton of prep work for me. It has been super difficult to do all this because it takes so much time in between, you know. Every rock you got to epoxy one side, you got to let it sit. Then you got to wait pretty much till the next day. Epoxy the other side, let it sit. And then what happens if it doesn't look good? You gotta sand it off. And that's the same thing for the boards as well. So it's been a lot of redoing, constantly just rinse and repeat. And it's been, to be honest, it has really been annoying. So now that everything is where it is, well worth it, but a lot of time has been put into all of this. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and I'm gonna catch you in episode 20. You know.